Hello everyone, welcome back to the Health Formula Show. Today's episode might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about gluten. Because here is the truth, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Gluten is inflammatory for everyone. Yes, even if you feel fine. Even if you've never been diagnosed with celiac. Even if your doctor told you that gluten is perfectly safe, because let me be blunt, you do not need to be bloated or running to the loo for gluten to be silently harming your body. So in today's episode, we are going to go deep, very deep, on why gluten is inflammatory, full stop, what's actually happening inside your body when you eat it, the symptoms that most people don't connect to gluten, and when, if ever, it might be okay to eat it again. Because listen, when I removed gluten years ago as part of my gut healing journey, the results were unreal. And I've seen the same thing happen in hundreds of people since. But still, it remains one of the most misunderstood and overconsumed foods on the planet. So let's break it down. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, found in barley, and found in rye. And it's everywhere. But here is what most people don't know. Gluten contains a component called gliadin, which increases a molecule called zonulin. Now, zonulin is a problem because it actually opens up the tight junctions in your gut lining. So it creates something called leaky gut. And I've done so many episodes on leaky gut before, which I will link up in the description. But what does that mean? Well, it means that gluten is literally poking holes in your gut. And so it allows toxins, bacteria, food particles to essentially enter your bloodstream and trigger inflammation. Now, this happens in everyone, not just people with celiac. Studies have proven it. So it's just, you don't have to believe me, you just have to believe the science. The difference is that some people feel the damage straight away. Others don't feel it for years until the symptoms show up in other places. So the symptoms that most people ignore because they don't associate those symptoms with gluten are things like brain fog, hormonal issues. We are talking about acne and eczema, chronic fatigue, anxiety, mood swings, joint pain, autoimmune flares. These are all symptoms that I see in my private practice every single week in people who think that they are fine, in quotation marks, with gluten. And what's wild is that they have usually no idea that it's connected. But then we remove gluten for 3 to 4 weeks. And then what happens is that energy skyrockets, skin clears, digestion improves, periods are suddenly balanced again and regulated, brain fog is no longer there. And the biggest reaction that I get is, wow, I did not realize how bad I felt until I felt better. I hear that all the time. Now, gluten is literally like sandpaper for your gut. And I want to put this visually. So your gut lining is like a very silk fabric, very delicate and very crucial. Now, gluten is like rubbing that silk with sandpaper, and every bite creates micro tears. And over time, that silent damage can actually lead to nutrient deficiencies. It can lead to chronic inflammation. It can lead to immune dysfunction, and even whole wheat, by the way, because a lot of people think that it's a health food, but it actually contains anti-nutrients like lectins and phytic acid. So they bind to minerals, and it makes it much harder for your body to absorb iron, for your body to absorb zinc, magnesium, and B vitamins, which, by the way, they are all crucial for your energy, for your skin, for your mood, for your hormones, for your sleep, for everything. And a lot of the times I hear like, but Paula, I just don't react to gluten. And this is the most common thing that I hear. Or like, I don't feel bad after eating gluten. Cool. Okay. But how's your energy? How's your skin? How's your brain? Like your brain clarity? How are your periods if you're a female? How's your mood? Because the impact of gluten is not always immediate. It can actually show up 24 to 48 hours later, and it can be very subtle. It can be normalized. And just because it doesn't send you running to the toilet, it does not mean that it's not silently triggering low-grade inflammation. And a question that I get often is, what about sourdough? Like, I've heard that sourdough is better. Or what about European gluten? So I want to address the sourdough part first. Yes, fermentation does break down some gluten, but not all of it. If you're healing your gut, even tiny amounts can be enough to set you back. And when it comes to European wheat, Yes, it does tend to have fewer pesticides and it tends to have slightly lower gluten levels, but it's still gluten. People feel better in Europe because their entire lifestyle changes, not just because the bread is magically good for you. And the whole wheat being healthy thing, I mean, it might have some fiber, but it also contains gut damaging anti-nutrients and a lot of gluten. Like, you're far better off getting fiber from like chia seeds, flax seeds, veggies without the inflammation, right? So should you go gluten-free forever? Well, if you are healing your gut, if you are trying to rebalance your hormones, if you're trying to address inflammation, gluten needs to go. It's like trying to heal a cut while scratching it, every single day. And you're literally opening it every single day. You need to let your body fully repair first. Now, once you're fully healed, then some people can tolerate occasional gluten. But there are some key rules. Number 1, keep it minimal. We are talking a few bites, not a full baguette. Number 2, never eat gluten 2 days in a row. Give your body some time to recover and lower down that inflammation. Number 3, be mindful. Listen to your body. How does it respond? Like, personally, I don't eat gluten, not because I'm scared of it, but because I have felt what happens to my body when I eat it. The brain fog, the fatigue, the puffiness, my skin, like the low vibes. So for me, it's just not worth it. But if there's a little in like a sauce in a restaurant, like, I'm not going to stress out. I know my body and I trust it. So what I want you to take away today is that just because you don't feel the symptoms does not mean that your body is not reacting. Okay. Gluten increases gut permeability in everyone, and that has been proven. So removing gluten, even for 30 days, can be one of the most powerful healing decisions that you can ever make. And going gluten-free is not restrictive, okay? Feeling tired, feeling inflamed, feeling foggy, that is restrictive. And if you're thinking, okay, but where do I start if I remove gluten? There are so many amazing alternatives that you can find online. Like, it's not about depriving yourself. It's literally about replacing your favorite, gluten foods with gluten-free alternatives, whether it's sourdough, whether it's chapatis, whether it's pasta, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. There are brilliant alternatives nowadays. And we have so many of those alternatives inside the Synergized app, like over 250 super easy, very delicious, completely gluten-free recipes. No stress, no confusion, just food that really supports your body. And it does not work against it. And so if this episode made you think of a friend who's always bloated, always tired, or just like struggling with their skin overall, send this episode to them. It might be, that exact light bulb moment that they've been needing. And next week, I'm going to be diving into the best anti-inflammatory diet. So I'm going to break down the top foods to eat, what to avoid, and how to build a way of eating that actually calms down inflammation rather than fueling it. Okay, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss that episode. And as always, take a moment to acknowledge yourself for wanting to become the healthiest version of yourself. Before you head off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a weekly episode. We cover everything from functional medicine to gut health, to hormones, to weight loss, to skin health, to natural beauty, you name it. All of the topics that truly matter. And if there's something that you would love me to cover, just drop it in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.